Call the order to taxation hearing. Yeah.
Okay, so the truth taxation hearing is to discuss the proposed additional millage rate allowed by MCL 211.24E. After publication, it was realized that there was an error in the total mills that we increased. The publication stated that there would be a proposed increase of 0.0949 mils. That is incorrect. The total of the proposed millage increase is 0.0516. This still equates to a 4.53% increase on the total operating millage for Newfield Township, but this does not include the millage increase for the fire department millage. The fire millage expired in 2021 tax levy, therefore we cannot increase the millage of something that does not currently exist. So, just some figures for you. In 2021, the township was set to collect approximately $80,530 for the township operating millage. The base rate for 2022 for our millage would allow Newfield Township to collect approximately $82,768. This would be considered a loss of $765 from our total collection. And everybody can hear me. I was going to say, it sounded quite loud, so I'll start over here in a minute.
First off, this is something that we do every year for our operating millage. It's nothing new. I've been here 10 years, and this is the 10th time that we've had truth and taxation hearings. It's all pulled in every year. We have to have it done by the end of September, just like all the other educational facilities. If you've ever been on school board, any of that, that's all included. Library has their operating that they have to run, so, okay.
Okay, so this public hearing is to discuss the proposed additional millage rate allowed by MCL 211.24E. After publication, it was noticed that there was an error in the total mills that would be increased. The publication stated that there would be a proposed increase of 0.0949 mils. That is incorrect. The total of the proposed millage increase is 0.0516 mils. This does still equate to a 4.53% increase on the total operating millage for Newfield Township, but this does not include the millage increase for the fire department millage as it was previously stated on the posting. The fire millage expired with the 2021 tax levy, therefore we cannot increase the millage of something that does not currently exist. That is to be voted on in November. So in 2021, Newfield Township was set to collect approximately $83,533 for the township operating millage. The base rate for 2022 would allow Newfield Township to collect approximately $82,768. This is a loss of $765 from our total 2021 collection. By adopting this proposed millage rate, Newfield Township would collect approximately $86,516. This is a total of $2,982 gain over last year, but a total gain of $3,748 over what the base rate would be. If anybody is interested in those rates for further observation, I did print additional sheets up here. You guys can come up and pick one up. So overall, the average increase per parcel would be less than $2 per parcel, an increase of less than $2 per parcel over what would be collected if we were not having this hearing right now.
All the figures that we get to set up this truth in taxation and doing this operating millage, they come from equalization and HART. And every once in a while, they're a little bit off on the numbers, but it's something that we get. All the figures are all filled in, and you will be renewing, or we'll ask for renewal for operating millage for the fire department, and it's on the November ballot. So this is just giving us money to operate off the taxation. It's nothing new, it's nothing that extra, it's about $2 per parcel.
So does anybody have any questions, concerns? Anything like that they would like to state during this public hearing?
I'm just calculating how much money we really go up.
I was going to say, it's about 5 cents per $1,000 of taxable valuation. So, if you know your taxable valuation, times that by 0.05, and that'll be your...
It'd be raised by about $20. And that's on 42,660.
It's actually not 0.0.
It's 0.00.
0.0000516. Let me find my calculation sheet.
You added one too many zeros. It's point, it's dimes.
0.0516.
No, but that's per 1,000.
Right.
So,
No, you want per. It's, you added one more zero. You said 3 zeros. Did you mean 3 or did you mean 2?
it's either going to be 3 or 4 zeros.
No, it's point 10. This is the first zero. 100 is the second zero. The third zero is
Yes, and the 1,000, so 1,000 equals, or the 1,000 equals the third zero, so then 5.
No, because the millage is on thousands.
Yeah.
The 0.0949 is, you know, if you added that to your 22, you would get close to that number, but you've got too many zeros in your formula. It'll be about $20
For your house, for your evaluation.
for my valuation. I know this is on a property appraiser, a former property appraiser. I've had to deal with millages all for the last 10 years.
Well, according to all of my calculations, it came out at a total of $3,748 more that we would be gaining for all parcels over what we would be collecting. So what we would be collecting,
You should be collecting 5.752.
no. That would be the additional we would be collecting.
Well, I guess because you had it in your paper as the 0.19.
But that was wrong, that was
wrong.
equalization.
Yeah, and okay.
So
You would still be, you're at 5.6626, right?
5.66. I don't see where you're getting that from.
Didn't you say that that's what
The total millage increase is 0.0516.
0516, okay, so that's the increase, right?
That is the increase. So the difference is without this hearing, we could collect 1.1394 mils per $1,000 of taxable value. With the public hearing, we can collect 1.1910 mils per tax year with the public. So that is a difference of 0.0516.
Okay, so what's gonna be the total millage then?
The total millage is gonna be 1.1910.
1.1910. That's gonna be the total collection?
Yes.
Then where does the 5.6571?
That's the difference
That's
of
the increase.
that versus if we did not have this.
That's what's on my tax.
What's on your tax?
It says millage 5.6571.
That's not even, that's for your summer tax bill, this is for your winter tax bill. That's for your county operating and your state, or your, state assess, state education tax.
Yeah,
I
education.
could count the education tax.
So those are completely separate from the values for
All right,
December.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so summer's completely different than winter.
Okay.
Yes, those are completely
So
different.
this is just for winter.
This is just for the Newfield Township operating millage of the winter tax
Just
bill.
that.
All right.
Which is, like I said, the difference of 0.0516.
Okay.
$2.
So, yeah, so like I said, about 5 cents per $1,000 of taxable valuation. Any other questions, concerns regarding the increase? I think that closes the meeting.
That's the end of our the taxation hearing. We'll be starting our regular meeting in about 2 minutes. Martha and Sid, there are 2 chairs in the front, if there's no one there. Thank you.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. John Clark. Here. Rick Robertson. Here. Joan David. Here. Amanda Hunter. Here. Nancy Conley, all present and accounted for.
Okay, approval of the agenda. For new business, I'd like to change number 1 to Vance Sanders and American Legion. So then everything else would change in number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then for number 7, add Bob Eichenberg and the Fire Department.
Communication officers. Because he's what? It's not that business.
Okay, so I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented with the 2 add-ons for new business. Okay, motion by David, supported by Robertson to approve the agenda with adding 2 additional things to new business. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried 5-0. Approval of the August minutes.
Motion to approve the August 16, 2022 minutes as printed.
Okay, motion by Robertson, supported by Clark to approve the August of 2022 minutes. All in favor say aye.
I did have three concerns on them, just 3 quick things if we can open it up for discussion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth paragraph down, motion to approve the special meeting. I would like to add minutes in there, because it's just saying approve the special meeting held on.
Oh, you want the word minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then the same thing with the next line down. Made a motion to approve July 19th, 2022 meeting minutes. And the only other thing that I was under the impression of, which it looks like we're gonna have to talk about tonight anyway, is where it comes to the planning commission met on August 11th. It says the outdoor bands would be limited to 20 outside events per year. And then it said the motion carried in a motion to grant a license amending to 26.
We did that.
Yep. In looking at other establishments in our township that the entertainment license may affect. I would almost argue that we stated that the entertainment license affected all other businesses, not just outdoor businesses that had public entertainment, but this specifically states with outdoor entertainment. So we can leave that. That's just not the impression that I got from last month's meeting.
Well, what they do inside is their business. What he holds inside out there
I would tend
doesn't affect
to agree, but that's why I was fighting so hard to not enforce the other one as well. But
You mean less, how many, instead of 20, we did vote up to what, 26?
we did go up to 26, but if you actually read our ordinance does not specify indoor or outdoor.
So just
But that specific thing that was granted
Was the outdoor. Yes, was the outdoor license.
They told me to
But
hold
that's
it.
why, so I questioned at the last meeting, at least I thought I did. Why?
Go ahead.
I was
She's talking.
questioning at the last meeting why we would go after the American Legion if it was only the outdoor entertainment.
We're not going after.
But right now we're doing the minutes.
So that's why I'm saying that was my impression with the minutes is that it was looking at other establishments in our township that this entertainment license may affect. It says with outdoor entertainment, the American Legion would also be notified. I would say to delete the with outdoor entertainment in that. But we're gonna be discussing that tonight. So if we want to leave that,
Well, we need to leave it as it is because that's the minutes, that's how it's talked at the meeting and that's what the minutes were.
That was not the impression that I got at last month's meeting.
But we are talking about it tonight, and, you know, if things change, then it'll be stated so in these minutes.
So do we want to add the special meeting minutes to this?
Yes.
So
in paragraph 5 in the first and second sentence, add the word minutes next to the meeting. And so we already had a motion and a second. All in favor say aye with those added. Aye. Opposed? Carried 5-0. Any public comments on any of the action items?
I think there's a lot of what people got to say around here. Number one, everything that is done has been done to Hightower Saloon, if that's the name of the place, is controlled by the Liquor Control Commission. It has nothing to do with you. They are in compliance with all of the insurances, all of the permits. It's signed by the sheriff so that they can have outdoor permits or have outdoor entertainment. That place has been in business for 60 years. You come up with an ordinance in the 2000s that you want to control, that you have no business in. You have no business in what Hightower does. None. You need to take the $100 and send it back to Hightower with an apology for what you've done. He has paid his dues with the Liquor Control Commission, and you have no right to override them. It's signed off by the sheriff that he can have those permits. This township has no business in what Hightower does.
Okay, can you state your name?
Dale Wayne Hornbrook.
Okay, Dale.
Yes.
We have a noise ordinance, and with the outdoor bans, we have a noise ordinance that everybody has to follow. And the owner was more than happy to fill out any paperwork and pay the $100 a year. But we're not trying to tell him whether or not he can have bans or this or that. And our ordinance was back from 2009. Nobody's ever had to follow it because nobody's ever had outdoor bans. But there was outdoor bans, there was complaints because of the noise. We have a noise ordinance, we have to enforce that. And so that's a way of enforcing it is, that's one of our ordinances. And he was more than happy to work with us on it. And $100 a year, and he agreed on the number of outdoor bans. In fact, if I remember right, the planning commission said more than what he asked for.
They suggested 20, and he had originally asked for 26.
What I'm saying is that this township has no business telling him what he can do. This township, just a minute, let me finish. This business has been in business for 60 years, way before you guys ever wrote any ordinances. And I sat 3 houses down from George's house, which is like 3 houses away, and we could barely hear the words from that band sitting on a deck on the lake. But I'm going to go back to what I originally said. That was signed off by the sheriff. The permits were bought by him from the Liquor Control Commission. And there is, unless you've got a way of measuring that sound, you got no reason to even be involved in what he does. Everybody around that I know of enjoys that place. It's a family business, just like Rick's business. People go there to eat. They have a band at 11. That's what the Liquor Control Commission said that he could be open to. And I think you people need to reconsider. And he was scared. I talked to him. He was nervous about the letter that he got from this township. And I would have been too. This township needs to reconsider, send him his $100 back with a written apology from this township on the grief that he's give that man. He's trying to make a living, and he's doing it right. You scared him.
That was not the intention.
Well, that was the result, whether it was the intention or not.
I met with John 3 times.
I
I have a very good relationship. I walked him through it. He was not scared after I chatted with him. Everything was fine. In terms of what, number one, the ordinance actually dates back to 1994.
I'm listening, I really am.
And yes, townships have the right under the MZEA, Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. We can regulate businesses within the township. That's the law. We didn't pass that. That was passed by our legislature. We have rights. But we have rights. It's the same thing in terms of noise ordinance. There is a definition in our noise ordinance. It's not a decibel reading, but
Go ahead.
okay? And it is enforceable. We've gone through the attorney. We've had people who have been convicted on that and have had to pay fines. Usually they're drinking and there's other issues,
For which one?
I'm sorry?
For which one? The noise ordinance?
No, for noise.
For noise, not for,
No, we're not two different matters.
I just wanted to-
But
I just wanted
the
to-
point is, you were asking, you're talking about noise, so I'm answering that as well. We wanna work with John, if we wanted to, number one is to change that, to do what you said, we have to go through planning commission, we then have to hold a public hearing and publish, and then we can go through and change the ordinance. But you can't just, I mean, I know there's a lot of folks think you just wave a magic wand and you can make things appear or disappear. No, you cannot. There's laws on how you go about doing ordinances, whether you're changing them, passing them, repealing them. It's not a just do as you please. Everyone thinks that we just, you know, the board and myself and the planning commission, we just do whatever we want. We don't. Believe me, I wish I could.
I'd
But
like to hear from you. Just got your hand up.
I would like to speak on a public comment regarding this as well. The initial complaint was noise, not the fact that he had an outdoor band. The outdoor band is what we actually accepted the money for, is the entertainment license. So it had nothing to do with the noise complaint. In that entertainment license, it allowed him, it set the deadline to be done with all events at 11 p.m., which was already set in our noise ordinance. I'm trying to remember where I was going with this. We had somebody at the meeting last month who was a supervisor who did go through this exact thing in his own township and said that as our ordinance was written, it is not enforceable. So, even though we had the opportunity to not enforce it and give him back his $100, we did not. We chose to keep his $100. And like you said, and like Rick said in the past, he is already licensed by the state of Michigan. So I just wanted to point that out, that there was somebody here last month that did go through this exact issue with ordinance with entertainment licensing, and he went through the whole legal battle and lost. So I just wanted to make that known again.
Does anybody else have any public comments on action items? Jim?
So action item number 5 under new business, the higher marijuana.
You need to identify yourself.
Jim Draper. I was just wondering, was that posted or where can people get applications for that?
For what?
Number six, the higher marijuana enforcer. It was not advertised. It was not advertised in the paper, no.
Okay.
It was discussed, it was researched. A lot of people were talked to within the township, outside the township. It's something new, a lot of people wasn't comfortable with it, not knowing a lot of the things that went on.
I've been to all the meetings and this is the first I've seen anything about it, so I was just curious.
No, we've talked about it. We started talking about it last fall.
We voted
to hire somebody last fall.
We talked
We
about.
voted to hire help for the zoning administrator.
We did not vote on that, it was discussed.
No, we
No,
voted
we voted
to hire somebody to work with Steve on
It was
On
voted
doing
on.
that.
It was
On
voted
doing
on
that.
last fall.
That's fine. Is that something that people can apply for then? No?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. That's my question.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, next is budget amendment.
Okay, I need to make a motion for 3 budget amendments. The first one is for resident services. We'll move $29,365.29 from unallocated to, that's 101,699,999. To resident services, 101,705,727. We haven't kept very much in that account. So we'll probably be moving money each month with the resident services, that things that have come through. The second one is for a budget amendment from the ARPA funds. When our accountant sent off the ARPA funds and the cannabis funds last month, so we could manage them within our budget. Every time that we pull from either one, we have to do a budget amendment. So we did the big amendment to get it all straightened around and organized last month, and now each month we will pull off that. So the first one is from the ARPA funds, which is 101,705,808 for $23,980 to 101,000,528, and that will cover the $19,008.66. That will cover the $13,200 for the road work on Hightower Lake. We round up the road around Hightower Lake and did some improvements, and that was coming from ARPA funds. They've already been approved. And then the work that was done on Riverview, that is $10,780. So totally, we are going to have to move $23,980 from the ARPA funds. And the second one is for the cannabis funds, and that is to cover lawyer fees. So we will be moving $6,485 from the cannabis line to this line of 101,00641. And every time we move from ARPA or we move from cannabis, it'll have to go through a budget amendment. So those are the 3 amendments. I make a motion to amend the 3 budget amendments.
Support that? Okay, I support that. All in favor, say aye. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Aye. Opposed? Carried, 5-0. Approval of bills.
Make a motion to approve the bills as written.
Okay, motion by Conley, supported by Robertson. Okay, motion by Conley, supported by Robertson to approve the bills totaling $107,568.49. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried, 5-0. Treasurer's report. Treasurer's report.
Alright, so as of 8/31/2022, we had a total cash available of $633,720.68. Our general fund was at $632,845.67. and we had 33,924.49 in checks clear from the bank last month. We had bills outgoing of $27,407.71 last month. The balance in the account as of August 31st was $8,851.91. With outstanding checks added in there, outstanding checks were $7,976.90. Our ending balance in the account, if all checks were cleared, would be $875.01. Treasury accounts change day to day just because it's being tax season, but at the end of August, we had a total of $38,585.39 in our tax account. Last month we had a revenue sharing of $32,749. Refunds and rebates for $171. That was
That check from consumer. We got consumer.
Yes.
We got a rebate on a check from
Yes,
consumer.
Consumer's Energy. And then everything else is kind of your normal. Normal month. As far as deposits go, so the total deposits of last month were $35,269.52.
Correspondence.
I have several pieces of correspondence. I will not read all of them because you all have received copies, but I will lay them out here if anybody else wants to look at them. The first one is from Senator Bumstead about a House Bill 5981 that he has to do with zoning and how he's keeping us informed. He voted against the bill because it would limit local control on zoning. So that one is here to look at. I have good news. Information from the state. We received information from the state that we did receive our grant for our recycling center. Both Newfield County received theirs, and so did we. So Lola was very happy. The state sent me just this. We'll be sending out contracts to the fiduciary listed on the applications for signatures in the next week or two, and then they're going to hold an onboard session in December to go over reporting and reimbursement. And I'm going to call Sarah, our auditor, and have her set up, exactly as we did with the ARPA funds. So everything we take out of there will come through a budget amendment and an approval. So it'll be a little bit different, but it's easier to keep track of that way. So that one is there. We did send in our dues for our MTA. So that was a letter from MTA telling us that we're good for another year. Today, after I left here, I got back tonight, we received a bill for brining for August from the Oceana Road Commission. So I let her know we got it. We'll run it through next month. The August brining was $10,725. I think Amanda copied. Did get us something from Fremont Digester. I don't know if they started spreading stuff on fields. Last time they started spreading before we got the letter telling where it was going to be. This time, this came in. What was written September 9th, right?
So I don't know if they started.
Yeah. So I don't know if they started, but if you want to know about Digester and where they're spreading around you. If you didn't get a letter from them, that is what it's covering. I have a letter from Jim Draper when he paid his taxes, and you can read that. We have something from the state that was sent to the county clerks, talking about the 3 proposals that'll be on the ballot from the state. Proposal 21-1, 22-2, 22-1, 22-2, and 22-3, and how they will be worded. So if you want to look at the state proposals for the ballots, those are there. Today, probably about 4 o'clock, I did receive the ballots at my house. So I haven't even opened them yet. But I know at least we'll have 3 ballots, because there'll be a ballot for the Newfield Township people, there will be a ballot for the village people that are in Newfield Township, so you'll have a separate ballot. And then there'll be a ballot for the Newfield Township people who are in the Shelby School District, which is the old ferry. So unless there's something different, and I haven't opened them, I got them in here, there'll be at least 3 ballots, so, but they're here, so most of you, a lot of you who do absentee ballots, on your request, there was a dual request this time for August and for November. If you did the dual request, you don't have to do anything, you'll be getting a ballot in the mail. If you think that you'd like an absentee ballot, or you know somebody, they're not signed up, have them get a hold of me. So, you know, I make sure everybody gets to vote.
And then I have a couple of things as well. So, I was told by a taxpayer last week that there was some paperwork that was submitted to our assessor that was not addressed at the July Board of Review, and this taxpayer has been trying to be in contact with our assessor since the July Board of Review to find out the income, or the outcome of that. But all conversations had ceased after that, and he wanted me to make the board aware that there might be a communication issue with the assessor.
And I did send her a email, but I didn't get anything back today.
And then while I was collecting property taxes, I was specifically requested to read this letter at the board meeting. It says, Newfield Township Board, as I pay my property taxes this year, I feel compelled to include some correspondence. I ask the board to use this money wisely, as it was earned with hard work. Treat it as you would treat your money that you earned. Recently, the township clerk was involved in a lawsuit for her illegally refusing to do her job. A judge had to order her to perform her duties. The taxpayers should not have to pay for her actions. When somebody does something illegal, they should pay for their own mistakes. Respectfully, Jim Draper.
Any other correspondence?
Okay, supervisor report.
Okay, supervisor report.
Not a whole lot going on
At our fire board meeting last week, talked about a cadet program. And how many cadets do you have in? Just one?
So Lily right
Is it
here in
Miss
front
Lily?
row is part of the
Okay,
cadet
so Lily right here in front row is part of the cadet program, and that's for, is it 17 and 18 year olds? 16. So good job.
And if
Keep up
anybody
the
else
good
has
work.
anybody around that
And if anybody else has anybody around that age level, you know, that is interested, Bob's the one to talk to about that. The other thing is, I'm gonna be putting an ad in the paper for, accepting applications for planning commission.
Going in the paper soon.
So that will be going in the paper soon. And,
Probably the,
in what paper?
Yeah,
Probably
it's
the,
Harold and
the highlights.
we'll be having another
And,
newsletter going
we'll
out
be
here
having
shortly.
another newsletter going out here shortly.
For business items, for unfinished.
For
business,
business
we have
items,
Microsoft
for
updates.
unfinished business, we have Microsoft updates.
So everybody was given 3 quotes. This is the updates that would, give us, give everybody, including planning commission, their own separate Newfield Township email, as well as giving myself, Joan, Nancy, and Steve Micklin, access to use Microsoft Office. So we've got a few different quotes, and they're all slightly different in slightly different ways. If anybody has any specific questions, be glad to answer them about that. But my research is leading me to believe that H&S Computer Consulting in Fremont might be our best quote. And this would be for the yearly contract. He stated that, Andy Bradshaw, the one that I talked to about this, stated that the yearly contract gives you 2 free months of Office per user if we go with the yearly one versus paying monthly for it.
Like we do everything.
So if you look at H&S for the monthly charges versus the annual recurring cost, the monthly is $255.60 versus if we do it for a year, pay for a year at a time, it's $2,556, which equates to 10 months. And the service charge to set it all up is only $500, whereas the other two companies, the service charge to set it up was $1,500 and $1,650 something.
We are already doing our antivirus through DMC Unlimited, and I haven't had any problems with them, but they are in Ludington. And that's what we talked about.
That was my big concern.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about.
Especially with
how,
email.
and, you know,
Yeah, especially with email.
And, you know, it's hard to, we've done it, and they've been wonderful. I've had next day shipping, I mean, from Ludington, I was impressed. But, Slate, Tendon and Slate, Slate's a local name, and they've been in business for many years. And I did not know they offered the computer consulting, but that's great.
I make a motion that we go with,
Hendon and Slate Computer Consulting for annual, yes.
For the annual?
For annual, yes.
Okay, motion by Conley, supported by Clark. Okay, motion by Conley, supported by Clark to hire Hendon and Slate for doing our computer consulting. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. 5-0.
And that would be for the annual recurring cost and the $500 setup fee.
Right.
It'd be 30.
And
It'd be $3,056. Yeah.
so how does he want it?
I will email him
And then they
don't need a
he
signed
doesn't
contract or
need
something?
I don't think so. I will email him and see what he asks. See what he needs from us to get started.
New business, first up is. Okay, new business, first up is Vance.
Good evening, my name is Van Sanders. Good evening, my name is Van Sanders, and you have elected me as the spokesperson for Thomas Richard Annis Post 411, the American Legion, by sending me certified mail in my name. By sending certified mail in my name. To start, we are a private, non-profit post, or as the state calls us, a club. Our social room is governed by the state of Michigan through our liquor license. We have for members only. When we do have live entertainment band open to the public, we must get a special license from the state of Michigan. To get this special license, we must have the sheriff sign off the form that goes to the state of Michigan. Our license goes in escrow, and bond is issued for the day of the event. When we have other fundraising events, such as bingo, our dinners, karaoke, and such, our social room is not open to the public. Only members can purchase alcohol. We also provide public service to anyone for funeral luncheons. Also, members are the only personnel that can purchase any alcohol if our social room is open. We are saying nothing in the ordinance. 2019-015 01, Article 0. Article 16 applies to our post. Looking through and gathering information. Under Handbook for Municipal Office Officials, published by the Michigan Municipal League, July 2015. Chapter 7, Section 2, Roles and Responsibilities, Chapter 7, Local Ordinances. Consistency with state and federal and local charters. Provisions of an ordinance must consist with state law. The ordinance may not conflict with or be preempted. The same holds true preempted by state law. The same holds true for federal law. A direct conflict exists if an ordinance permits what a state statute prohibits or prohibits what a state statute permits. Some areas of potential local regulation may be preempted by state or federal statute, either expressly or because the statutory scheme occupies the field of regulation. In that case, the local regulation cannot be upheld. Even though there is no direct conflict, an ordinance may not conflict with provisions of the local law. This entertainment ordinance, in our opinion, that you would have conflicts with what we have to do for the state. Everything we do is through the state. Everything we have is governed by the state because we are a non-profit organization. Our rules and regulations are different than, say, Hightower or Rick's Place, because we have different things that we have to do because we are a non-profit organization. We do not feel that this ordinance does anything for us. If there's a noise ordinance, this regulation, I can understand that, or ordinance. But this regulation or ordinance does not apply to us. Amanda was saying, gentleman was here last month, that it's unenforceable. Our stance on what we are. So that's our stance on what we are with this. But you guys want us to get a license?
Outdoor activities that, was it just for for outdoor activities that?
No, actually, there are two things. One, our ordinance was reviewed by our attorney, who said it is enforceable. It does not conflict with anything in the state.
But it does.
But, I didn't interrupt you, sir. Not conflict with anything in the state. Municipal units. It does not conflict with anything in the state. In municipal units, most cases can enact in most cases can enact ordinances that are more strict than the next level above. So in other words, like the state ordinance. So for example, we have licensed marijuana facilities in our township. Our township ordinance is stricter than the state licensing requirement. More strict than the state. That is legal, because we can be more strict than the state. We cannot be less strict than the state. But we can be more strict than the state. So that's number one. Number two, again, we went through the attorney. Pretty clear. It says no person, firm. In 16.01 is pretty clear. It says no person, firm, or corporation shall engage in the business within the township of Newfield of offering a public amusement, entertainment, exhibition, or performance without first obtaining a license, therefore, from the township of Newfield. 1602. No person, firm, or corporation shall knowingly allow or permit any building or land owned, used, or possessed by him, or it to be used for such a purpose unless the township license therefore has been shown to such owner or process. It doesn't distinguish between a nonprofit and a for-profit.
Could you read number 1 again for me?
Sure. Corporation. No person, firm, or corporation shall engage in the business within the township of Newfield of offering, let me actually make it clear, I'm gonna eliminate the township of Newfield. Throws this in, okay? Because I think that throws this in there. No person, firm, or corporation shall engage in the business of offering a public amusement, entertainment, exhibition, or performance without first obtaining a license, therefore, from the township of Newfield.
Okay, we're not, if you read that, or if you understand the way I understand it, we're not a firm, we're not a corporation, we're a non-profit.
Let me go back to definitions.
Well, we're not, we're a non-profit
Depends
organization.
on what.
Well, we're not, we're a non-profit
Depends
organization.
on what the ordinance defines as a person or
We're
a
none of those. Person
firm
or
or corporation.
And we're none of those.
There are
just-
no definitions on
But the
such
thing of it
in
is,
this
if you
ordinance.
listen to what the thing of it is, it says, if you listen to what Steve says, it says that you have to get a license prior to that. That does not include dinners, it doesn't include bingo or anything like that, but if you guys never do that, then you never have to come and ask for a license, and the license is good
An
for a
ordinance to
year.
protect and secure the public health, safety, and general welfare by regulation of certain forms of commercial entertainment. Define what your certain forms of entertainment are.
Public
If-
amusement, entertainment.
There is no definition in here.
Public
If-
amusement, entertainment. Exhibition or performance.
Define those words.
Well, to me, entertainment is.
If you cannot
bands.
define those words.
Well, to me, entertainment is bands and that, but as far as indoors, I don't think that's an issue. I think it's if
Our
it's
ordinance is
outdoor.
written so it's indoor and outdoor. Unfortunately, that's the, our ordinance is written.
Okay.
in
I
that
would
way.
say, my thinking is,
Hightower.
we've been through this with the,
Rick had his
with
input on it, and he understands
Hightower.
Hightower.
regulations like you
Rick
do.
had his input on it, and he understands the state regulations like you do, because you deal with them all the time. I think we should put this on hold right now and review
Because
this
if I look at
ordinance.
Article 17, because if I look at Article 17, I look at adult entertaining businesses. I look at this, I see adult bookstore, I see adult motion picture theater, I see adult mini motion
Now,
picture
that's not even
theater.
allowed in this area, so.
And a dance hall.
It's on your ordinance.
I know, but
It's,
we haven't
this is on your ordinance. You
I know,
actually
but
have
we have a
defined-
designated area for.
You have
for
actually
that.
defined these definitions. You have definitions in here for what these are. You have not defined what entertainment, exhibition, or public amusement, entertainment, exhibition, or performance. Yeah, exhibition, I understand what that is. You have not defined. That
Well,
is
our
plain and
planning
simple.
commission is working on.
You have not defined.
Updating. Well, our planning
Nowhere
commission
in
is
here.
working on
Updating the
updating all of that. It's the planning commission's job to do that and then to bring it to the board, so we can talk to the planning commission to go over it. And to be honest with you, it would never, that would never have got sent to you guys if we didn't have a few issues out at Hightower, which it wasn't, it wasn't major issues in my eyes, but.
Speaking of that.
But we can't pick, all right, we're gonna do this with you, but not with them, if we have to, whatever places had entertainment, then we have to treat everybody the same.
One, from what I have heard, there was never a police report.
Okay,
There was never a police report. From what I've understood, the individuals actually called you on the board and spoke to you guys. There was never a police report. So how can you enforce something if there is no legality behind it?
We don't have to have a police report to follow our zoning.
We
though.
have to go through, again, we have to go through the state of Michigan to get everything. We have to have the sheriff sign off on it in order to be able to have an open license to where if we have a live band, our social room can be opened up to the public. These words, I still want to know what these words in your ordinance, public amusement, entertainment, are supposed to be defined as. Defined everything else.
Well, we're reviewing what she said.
Oh, excuse me. Like I said, the planning commission is updating our zoning ordinance. And there's some wording in there that they have to fix, and, if I approach them on this, I know that they will take the time to bring it to the board, to make it more definite and to bring it to the board so we can take care of it, and we did wanna, the intention of this was not to get people upset, not to think that we were trying to do something, it was, we can't do something with one entity and not the other. And that's why we have ordinances, and that's why it's our job to follow the ordinances, and we're more than willing to work with anybody on it, and you're speaking, I don't think that our ordinance differentiates between profit and non-profit organizations, but maybe there is something within the state that we're not aware of, but we have to be able to have time to, now that you've brought that to our attention, you have to give us time to check into it and all that. We're more than happy to and willing to work with you, man. I know a lot of times, you know, somebody might get a letter like this and just instantly like get upset and thinking this and saying that, and that's why we have to keep communication going, and don't be afraid to ask questions and come to us. You don't have to wait for a meeting to speak. I mean, otherwise that's 30 days in between each time. If you have questions and all that, just make sure you. But I mean, that's why everybody needs to communicate and, you know, stay positive and work together, because that's how we're going to get things done, and that's how we're going to keep our township in a good position and all that. So we're more than happy to work with you, and we'll we will check on into all that. And Georgia, do you have?
Yes, for clarification purposes and for zoning, okay? The statute on the American Legion and Thomas Richard Annis Post is two different entities. All right, Thomas Richard has a liquor license. It's not the American Legion. All right, you need to clarify this, because it's not the American Legion. So you need to strike that. The American Legion is a national organization that services our veterans. It's a place for the veterans, supported by the veterans and their families. Thomas Richard Annis is the entity that has the liquor license.
See, now that right there makes a big difference, because then the other stuff that's in that zoning won't even have anything to do with
Hear me
that.
out, okay? So, but we are as the entity, we are classified as a 501c 19. The 19 means we're non-well, 501c3 means we are a non-profit organization. Okay? So therefore we are exempt from some taxes. Okay? But with the 19, that means we're a veterans organization. That means that we take care of the veterans, we take care of the families. So we're really exempt from some of the things here, but yes, we do have to adhere to certain ordinances, and I'm not going against the township because I've been part of the township too many years. But they do need to clarify the 501c3 19 means we are a non-profit. So it's two things you're looking at. Okay, so one has a liquor license that is regulated by the state, and with that comes entertainment or anything that they do as far as outside events or fundraising. Okay, then we have the veterans organization, which takes care of our veterans, their families, their children, and they do fundraising to support these programs for all the veterans and the children. And they are a child for the children also. So we're not just as people think, oh, that's a drinking club. We're two different things. Wrong. We're not.
Two different.
We're two different things, and I think a lot of people think wrong because they want to jump in and say, oh, that's a bar, that's just where they drink. Sure, it's a social room that is there for members only. We are not open to the public. So statutes are kind of a little bit different with 501c319 versus your ordinance that you have right now. So you need to kind of put some shade on that, you know, look at it a little bit closer because we do have to follow and regulate by the state. So who do we pay? Do we double pay the township as well as the state?
That's
That's
exactly,
double dipping for
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and that's what it would be, we pay township and state both. So there definitely is some research that needs to be done.
Between it being. Oh, yeah, because the way that you explained it, between it being two different things, and that changes things dramatically. I wasn't aware of that. I don't know if anybody else was.
Also, under your application, required documents, copy of state license, copy of public liability insurance, property damage insurance, corporate security bond, and proof of ownership or lease. We have to have all that stuff. Why do you need that? We have to have all that stuff, and it is regulated through the state.
We're gonna
Why
review this.
do you need that?
I'm glad you came in. We're gonna review this.
Had your questions?
I'm glad you came in today and had your questions. We had some things answered that we didn't know. And you have to give us time to look at this. That's on hold as far as I'm concerned. And look at what we've got here. Like I said, we're already going through our planning commission to review some ordinances and part of ordinances that need to be adjusted. So.
And I've got one more question dealing with Hightower. If it was originally brought up as a noise complaint, why is the licensing been brought up? And when I received my letter, why didn't I get a copy of the noise ordinance?
I don't know, but I
The
will check into it.
licensing was brought up to limit the licensing was brought up to limit the amount of outdoor
Why are you wanting?
bans.
Why are you wanting to limit somebody being able to do something in Hightower's case, bring in revenue, in Hightower's case, bring in revenue, why would you, in our case, raising funds? Why would
It
you
was
want to
just for
limit
outdoor,
that
he can have.
to 20 or 26?
It was just for outdoor, he can have.
No. You guys have been saying indoor, outdoor. And from what I was understanding, from what little bit I could understand from the last meeting on YouTube, to 26. You guys limited him to 26 outdoor events.
Did you watch the planning commission meeting?
He wants 26.
That's the one that you
That's
need to
where it
watch.
came up at. He wanted 26, the planning commission came, and they give us a recommendation, and they gave 20, and after we asked him, you know, would it be, if it was okay to be more, the idea why we looked at it was, there was several complaints on noise after 11 o'clock.
And that is where I'm trying to get to. Noise complaint, and this license, the noise complaint is where everything should have been to. It should have went through noise ordinance. All right. Now, if I want to have
That just is him.
more than 26 events,
That just is him. That's just him.
I'm just going by what has already been stated. If I want to have more than 26 events, how in the heck am I supposed to do that?
Well, he can have unlimited indoor events, he could have
No,
an event every
I'm
night.
talking outside, indoor, it doesn't matter.
26 is what he came up with in the original planning commission. And when they recommended it to us, they recommended 20. And he was sitting here and we said, you know, can you?
But still, if there is a recommendation of limiting 20 events, there should be no limitation.
He was willing
There should be no limitation. There should be no limitation.
He was willing to give it a year and see if he was gonna need more, or come back to us if he needed more. And he was very agreeable, he was very workable.
May I jump in on that one? He was acceptable to the 26 permits because his permit expires, I think, December 31st. Am I right, Steve? It expires at the end of the month. March 31st. Okay, so the summer's almost done. He's not gonna have outdoor events in the winter. That's why he was agreeable to the 26th.
Right, and we told him
would
to
like
come
that
back in
limited.
March, and we would relook at it, you know.
So my other thing that I'd like to throw in the pot here is that from what I understand is getting our zoning ordinance, from what I understand, is getting completely revamped. The entire the planning commission is planning on going through each ordinance and looking through it. Each article, excuse me, you are correct. Each article and revamping it to fit our needs now. Has been around since this entertainment license has been around since 1994 and never once enforced until now. I would suggest that we not enforce Article 16 of our zoning ordinance until after the changes have been made for everyone.
Well, the question I have with that, Amanda, if you're gonna do that with that, if someone wants to, then, because we're talking about changing it. If someone wants to, then, because we're talking about changing it, we're not gonna enforce it, because we're changing it.
No, only
Then, but what's the difference between that and, let's say, the ordinance that covers setbacks? We have a lot of people who don't like our setback requirements.
all of this time.
Because
that one has been enforced. All of this time. Has it
Since
not?
I've been here.
Since he's been here.
So this one has not been enforced.
Since I've been here.
Since he's been here.
So at least it has, we have set a precedent there. We have not set a precedent with this entertainment license. And it's only been
If the
enforced
entertainment
once.
license has been around since '94.
And it's only been enforced once.
And it just now being enforced.
Actually, I couldn't tell you if it was enforced previously.
I'm in agreement with her. Things. I know the Legion has had numerous, have you ever received a complaint? Outdoors, bands and stuff. Have you ever received a complaint
Annoyed?
about the
Actually,
Legion?
I did have someone complain.
Annoyed?
Well, about having.
Right now, we need to,
And.
Was
well,
Well,
right now, we need to,
Was it a
what
noise?
we're talking about right now is that letter. We will talk to the planning commission about clarifying everything. We will look into what you and Georgia have told us about that. And we will get back with you, but
Yes.
As far as, I've got more information if you would like to have it.
if you have
as far
copies of
as what
something
we
that I
to
can
go
have,
through.
or if you're gonna be here for a
to be-
while, I can make copies, or.
to
If you
get
have
the
copies of
license.
something that I can have, or if you're gonna be here for a while, I can make copies,
I'll be
or.
here.
I can make
Okay,
copies
so we have them.
if you have to go.
We can make copies at the end of the meeting. Next is the. So we have them. Thank you very much. What? Next is the tax rate request. What? Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Bob?
You make a lot of definitions, I think it's one that the township needs. I'd like to present it to you, I'll leave it up there in charge retired. What is a veteran? A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve payable to someone who at one point in their life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including your life.
And this has nothing to do against veterans. We appreciate everything that every veteran. And this has nothing to do against veterans. We appreciate everything that every veteran has ever done. It's nothing against any veteran. It's nothing against the American Legion. It's just, we acted on the Hightower Bar, so we had to look to see if there was any other entities that had some form of entertainment. We can't pick and choose. We appreciate our veterans. I always have, I know the rest of the board has. I mean, you put your life on the line. The veterans are amazing people. And I mean, you put your life on the line, some came back, some didn't, and I appreciate everything a veteran has. This has nothing to do against veterans, nothing whatsoever.
Our post has been there for 53 years.
But that's not the issue right now. We haven't, if
Well,
there was a complaint,
but
I'm
that's
sure,
not the
but
issue right now.
There hasn't been any recent.
We haven't, if there was a complaint, I'm not sure, but there hasn't been any recent complaints. It's just that we can't pick and choose. Just like right now, we have marijuana facilities. We can't sit here and say, all right, this facility needs to follow this, but this one, we're gonna let it slide.
We can't do
It's,
that. And this might end up what Vance got in the mail.
we can't do
might end
that.
up being nothing.
And this might end up what Vance got in the mail, that might end up being nothing. It might end up just getting thrown out, but
Had some sort
we
of.
had
And
to
then-
mail out to
and we
whoever
can work with
had
it.
some
You guys
sort
are
of
giving us
entertainment,
information that
and
We
then,
wasn't aware of
and
before.
we can work with it. You guys are giving us information that we wasn't aware of before, and it could
appreciate you guys.
possibly make a
coming in
big
and
difference
explaining
into
things.
whether or not we have to. So I appreciate you guys
Whether it's Newfield
coming in
Township
and
veteran,
explaining things, and I
anybody in the
appreciate
United
every
States, in
veteran.
America.
Whether it's Newfield
We
Township
appreciate our
veteran,
veterans.
anybody in the
Nothing
United
against
States,
veterans.
in
I
America.
would do anything for.
We
veterans.
appreciate our veterans. It's nothing against veterans. I would do anything for a veteran, because I appreciate everything that you have done for my family, my community family, everybody.
Or against the veterans.
So don't ever feel that we are upset with the veterans or against the veterans, because that's far from the truth.
Well, thank you for everything that you and all the other veterans have done, I appreciate this, but please do not.
Well, thank you for everything that you and all the other veterans have done, I appreciate this, but please do not take this
This is the
personally.
first time I just, we're witness to the township, let's go jump on that topic. We're limited to 12 events a year, so.
Right, thank you. The 2022 tax rate
Right,
request.
thank you. The 2022 tax rate request. Steve?
Yes, my name is Steve Grover. I have just two questions. When this ordinance was first enacted, you have two establishments in the township, the Legion and Hightower. Why wasn't something sent at that point in time to those two establishments explaining the ordinance?
We really didn't start.
We weren't here, we don't know why something wasn't sent.
We really didn't start enforcing the ordinances that we're aware of till we actually hired Steve.
Okay.
Before that, there was some enforcing, but not, it was pretty thin.
My other question is, we have, I don't know how many events left that we've already scheduled for the remainder of the year. What are we supposed to do about those?
Have your events.
Have your events.
We're not doing anything with
We're
your
not doing
events.
anything with your situation right now. You have your events, do what you're gonna do. We're reviewing it, we'll get back with you.
Okay.
But it's not gonna affect your events anyways.
Okay.
You guys are fine with anything that's on your calendar,
Well, that's what we said. We need-
okay?
Thank you.
We're not trying to,
According to this letter.
Well, that's what we said. We need, we'll adjust, we need to look at the letter, so go from there.
I've got this one paragraph. Okay. I'll read you the whole thing. Dear Mr. Sanders, Township has recently been made aware that the Legion Post has had live band performing on August 20th, 2022. And that there have been live bands and karaoke there previously. These activities require an entertainment license from the township pursuant to ordinance 2019-010, Article 16. All venues having entertainment and are required to have obtained a township license. Therefore, we respectfully request that no further live bands or karaoke be present at the post until such time as an entertainment license is applied for and approved. I have enclosed an application for the entertainment license. The cost of such license is $100 when completed. It should be returned to me, and then it will need to be reviewed and recommended by the Planning Commission. Their next meeting is in November. Should you wish an expedited review of a special meeting can be held. However, there is a cost of $450 for the special meeting, as it must be published and posted. Following a recommendation by the planning commission, it then must be approved by the township board. We understand that you may not be aware that may not have been aware of this requirement and are not seeking to issue civil infraction to prior events. Please feel free to contact me with any questions. I can be reached via email at zoning@newfieldtownship.org or telephone. Respectfully, Steve McClure. That, to me, right there is telling me that I can't have any more events. And where I brought my voice up is where it is in bold letters. That is the way it is. Basically yelling as it's written. That is the way it is, comes across.
Did you call me? Sir?
That is the way.
Sir, I guess you was very simple.
Okay, but right now, it's tabled.
I have appointments.
Okay, but right now, it's tabled, and
I was gonna say, can I make a motion?
anything that you have on your calendar stays on your calendar, and we will work through this. Like I said, you and Georgia gave us a lot of information that we were unaware of, and we'll look into it. But right now, there's nothing for you to worry about.
I'd like to make a motion, I don't know if I'm gonna get a second, but I'd like to make a motion that we not do anything with the entertainment permits until after the planning commission's had a chance. And I would also like to go over the ordinances and redo them. And I would also like to, and additional.
I second that. I second that.
So the motion is made by Rick Robertson to put everything on hold as far as the entertainment section in the ordinances.
Till the planning commission is.
Till the planning commission can review it, the $100 back. And send John the $100 back.
That's my motion.
Seconded by Amanda. But we would like whatever information you have so you can share with us. But we would like whatever information you have so you can share with us.
Okay, all in
Okay,
favor?
that's the motion, seconded by Amanda.
Opposed? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Those events that
Okay, carried 4-0.
To make one quick note on that, those events that were in that letter were not outdoor events.
All right, 2022 tax rate request.
Right.
All right, 2022 tax rate request.
I would like to make a motion to approve the tax rate levied this year for Newfield Township operating millage to the 1.991 mils.
Motion by Hunter.
That was previously discussed.
Conley to approve the 20. Okay, motion by Hunter, supported by Conley to approve the 2022 tax rate request. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried 5-0. I'd like to approve resignation letter from Jay Peasley for the planning commission. Motion by David, supported by Robertson to accept. Okay, motion by David, supported by Robertson to accept Jay's resignation letter. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried 5-0. I'd also like to make a motion to approve Brian Sukup's resignation from the planning commission. Okay, motion by David, supported by Robertson to approve Brian Sukup's resignation. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried 5-0. Parking lot bid. Our parking lot has been neglected for many years, and because of it, it is, we have big cracks. It's beyond repair. Deep holes. We got big cracks. It's beyond repair. We got, one business. 2 of the businesses never got back with us. One business thanks to Al saying, got back right away. API out of Muskegon came in and did an estimate on both at the fire department and here at the hall. He said that he'd have to saw cut, and removal, pulverize the existing asphalt, shape and compact the pulverized material, fine grade it, pave with 1.5 inch average courses of hot mix asphalt, and then stripe the lot. He can't do it until spring, but he will honor the cost, and the cost is $62,000. He can't do it until spring, but he will honor the cost, and the cost is $62,920.
Personally, I do not. I think we need more quotes, and two, personally, I do not believe that our, that bad where we need our parking lot is at this point. That bad where we need to repave it at this point.
Well, it's it's bad, just the driveways. Well, it's the fire department with just the driveways, and that was more than that, and the thickness that they do is a lot thicker than what the other ones were, but he can't do anything with it until spring, so I could try, but you can't.
No, the 62,000 you're just talking here. You're not talking fire.
No, the fire department's more than that. And
so the other question is, where's that money coming from?
It can come from COVID funds.
That is correct.
Because we
I'm
can't
just
do
looking at that's
improvements
about a
in
third
our
of what we received for COVID money. That is correct.
Structure.
I'm just looking at that's about a third of what we received for COVID monies.
Right.
I don't feel like that's benefiting the residents as much as, say, something like fire department. You know, when we spend money for the fire department or
until
stuff like
next month or until I get. Okay, we're gonna table the parking lot bid until next month or until I try to get somebody else to give a bid. So the next is, security cameras. We've already approved security for the outside. This is a quote for the security cameras for inside the.
He was here, they've ordered all the stuff they needed for the parking lot to have the security cameras put up. And they will also have one of the cameras will be on the drop box for the balloting. So that will be real good. It'll take in all the doors, and it will also cue in on that drop box. So that's something that the state, we've made it through because we had one before 2020. But, so anyways, they've ordered the stuff for the parking lot, and then to have the cameras put in here, and then a camera in the office. The quote to get that all with the drop cable, labor and everything is $986.70. Because the initial stuff is going to be here with what he's putting in for the parking lot. No. So.
do we have any idea when they would be installing this inside?
No, it's when they can get parts.
Okay.
At that. Today, talking about parts for windows. They've ordered everything. They do have some of the stuff for the outside parking lot, but they've already put in the order, so I don't know. Once we approve this, I will let him know tomorrow if we approve it, and then he can order out. He does have some stuff, but he can order that out.
Well, it'd be nice if we had it before the election.
Nancy, now.
The price that we approved for the parking lot, he gave us
For both what?
The price.
The price that we approved for the parking lot, he gave us his quote that we got in December of last year. And I said we have to stay within $100 or it's off. And he went with the exact quote from last year. So we have that, and then the $986.70 is for this room and that
So
room.
we would also need a sign that
No
says
voice
audio
or-
recording.
There is voice on all of
There
that.
is voice.
So we would also need a sign that says audio recording in progress at all times. Because otherwise we cannot legally have voice.
He knows that, he's got all that for me.
So would he have that sign for us, or would we have to have that sign?
I'll check with him.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion that we hire.
So as soon as he can get the okay, get the parts.
Okay, I make a motion that we hire Shoreline to do the inside security cameras for $986.70. All in favor, say aye. Okay, motion by David, supported by Clark, to have Charlotte do that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
In regards to that.
Carried 5-0. Next
Can I
is,
also make another motion in regards to that of,
I'll find
she's
out.
gonna find out if.
getting the
We'll have the
sign,
sign no matter
as
what.
long as the
Yeah,
sign is.
I'll find
She's
out.
gonna find out if he's.
We'll have the sign no matter what. We'll see
Yeah,
if
I
they
just
do
was
it.
gonna say if it's, you know, like $200 or less or something, we'll just go ahead and approve it now, or.
$36. Yeah, the sign. Next
Well,
is
that's all.
hire marijuana enforcer. I make a motion. Next is hire marijuana enforcer. I make a motion that we hire Rick Martin to be our marijuana enforcer. He'll work alongside, Steve Micklin for, the next 6 months, here any day. We'll be starting, inspections here any day, and that's why, as I say, we're moving fast on it. Really, we're not moving fast on it because this has been going on for a long time, but, we need to get this going, and they will be doing that, and Steve will be, training Rick on the paperwork and all, and everything else, and, approve hiring Rick Martin. So we can get this going. So anyways, I make a motion that we approve hiring Rick Martin.
I'll support.
So, can we open the discussion? I think you're a great choice for this. Okay, so I'm just looking at, Rick, I think you're a great choice for this. 6 weeks. I'm just looking at, the end of the season is around there, 6 weeks away, right? Am I, what's that? Around there, 6 to 8 weeks. So, and what's that? Steve Micklin has been doing the 6 to 8 weeks. So, and Steve Micklin has been doing the inspections up until this point.
Right.
So, inspections up until this point. To have him finish out this season. I am thinking, I wonder if it would be better to have him finish out this season, so that we're not. And then we could actually open swapping people kind of right in the middle. Originally we talked about, and then we could actually open it up because originally we had talked about hiring Rick for a 6-month temporary position and then opening it up to applications from the public, say around 4 or 5 months, and then actually having interviews. So I am wondering if we should finish out the season, if we should, and then open this up and finish out the season with Steve, and then open this up and
Well, for one thing, in the last year.
potentially do.
Steve. Well, for one thing, in the last year, since Steve had been doing he's got 2 more evaluations or inspections, he's got 2 more grows than what he had last year. So, we did have John and Jay Keesley go out on his last inspections, thinking, that they would be a help if we end up some way you can't go or something's going on. And then now we have 2 more grows, we have 5 grows. So, I think that now would be a good time for someone to jump in, start working with him. I don't know, John, if John wants to go out on inspections again, he said he didn't think he wanted to. Jay's resigned from planning commission, so I think we don't need to wait. There has to be, how many inspections a year? 3 inspections a year. So, I think this is a perfect time for somebody to jump in and help because of the 2 new grows that we've added.
If I can comment, Amanda, just to clarify, the idea was to do inspections during the year, during the growing season, but also then to come back and do during processing as well. So, it's actually kind of interesting. We've learned a lot, obviously, over the last year or 2. And also the facilities have grown, so to speak, in terms of like, for example, Highcloud. That's a good point, time to do that. Hightower, Highcloud, we got Hightower. Highcloud over here, of course, they all have an M20. In addition to, of course, they all have their processing license. In addition to putting in the equipment to freeze and extract the oils. Andre just recently spent another $500,000 on equipment to make the little vape cartridges. The idea would make and fill and have something they can use transporting. So the idea would be to have something actually during the winter when they're doing the oils and that sort of
And that
thing.
makes
So it
sense, I'm
actually
just
will be
looking at.
more year round than what
For
it was.
the bulk, and that makes sense, I'm just looking at,
For the bulk
of the facilities for the bulk of the business, it seems like the growing season is almost done.
At least until we.
You know, I think we should wait at least until we start over again with permits, because permits are coming up here in
This
2
is a perfect
months.
time for somebody to come in.
So-
So that means we're starting with paperwork on permits again.
But what kind of
This is a perfect time for somebody to come in and jump in on all the paperwork for the permits.
but what kind of money are you talking about?
Yeah, we
Well,
haven't
this could be
discussed that.
covered with marijuana funds, the
Yeah, but
majority of
you
it
don't
is
have
with
no-
marijuana
Which
funds.
we have
Well,
done.
we doubled Steve's
Okay.
because we could pay half of his with marijuana funds.
Which we have not done.
No.
She moved that money
Okay.
this last time.
Amanda
So
and
what
I
you're
had
saying,
talked
we're
at
gonna
great length the
take
other
half
day
of Steve's
about.
money?
No.
What we had talked about, and Amanda and I had talked at great length the other day about, doing after 6 months, do a 6-month review, and decide then if we should open it up to interviews or whatnot.
Or if Rick wants to even
And
stay with
we
us.
also discussed, of $4,500 a year, and that would be revisited. And then it would be paid in monthly increments, and it would be revisited after the 6 months to see how things were going, and to see if we still wanted to go in that direction or whatnot.
Agree with you said that. Okay, so just slight doing a review after thing that I didn't agree with. You said that we would be hiring him and doing a review after 6 months. When I was talking about that, I was saying hiring him as a temporary employee for 6 months, getting applications and going through the application process. And then he would have with him not hopefully applying again, and then he would have the experience under his belt. Not, I was not under the impression that it was just, we're hiring him tonight, and in 6 months, we'll see if we like it, a 6-month temporary.
We'll see if he likes it. He might
Or
not.
he likes it, I was under the impression that this would be a 6-month temporary position. And I think you'd do a fine job, don't get me wrong, I think you during our discussions. And I think you'd do a fine job, don't get me wrong, I think you would.
We're not rushing into this, we started.
I think you would, I'm just thinking that we're kind of rushing into this because we haven't.
We're not rushing into this, we started this a year ago, we're gonna finish it. So if we wanna do temporary, I make a motion that we hire Rick Martin temporarily at $2,750. He can either get paid for it at 6 months, or he can have it divided within the 6-month period. It'll be reviewed at the end of 6 months, which at that time, if he's doing a good job and he feels comfortable doing it, he can reapply. So that's my motion.
I second it.
Okay, so.
Okay, so we can do a roll call. I rescind my first motion of hiring him.
No.
So my motion is, I rescind my first motion of hiring
I'll
him.
rescind my second.
Okay, so my next motion is temporary hiring for 6 months at $27.50, blah, blah, blah.
Roll call vote.
No.
I seconded it.
Yep,
Robertson?
yes.
John Clark?
No.
Rick Robertson?
Yes.
Nancy Conley, yes. Amanda Hunter?
No.
Joan David?
Yes, welcome to
Nancy Conley,
the
yes.
team, Rick, and we'll get with you to get all the paperwork and all that necessary. And,
Welcome
to the team, Rick, and we'll get with you to get all the paperwork and all that necessary. And set up a time to start doing inspections, and it'll be 3 people, it'll be you, Rick, and either myself or possibly Dennis. We'll be doing that. So next is,
Bob and Lily's here.
Bob, I should have put you, I'm sorry about that. So Bob and Lily's here, our cadet, to discuss a few things.
For those of you that don't know me in the room, I'm Bob Eichenberg, I'm the chief of the Sperry Area Fire Department. This is my daughter Lily, we'll circle back to that in a second. Just basically wanted to stop in to showcase some things that we got through township funds that were provided by the board, that were money that was collected on behalf of the taxpayers. So we've had some of this stuff for a while, but schedules being what they were. This pile of equipment over here is basically what we purchased through that allowance from the township. This that I have in my hand is a CPR device, mechanical CPR device. It frees up basically 2 people on a scene where we have to do CPR on someone. This does the CPR for us, so we can do other things to provide patient care. So this is a very critical piece of equipment that we have. That's very, very crucial. Being that we are rural and very limited on manpower, that's very, very crucial. This is a piece of extrication the other piece, one of the other pieces is this. This is a piece of extrication equipment for automobile accidents. We can also use it for gaining entry into buildings and have steel commercial doors, things like that. It's battery operated, which uses a basically standard. This is a 28-volt Milwaukee battery, which is a little different than your standard Milwaukee's, but a standard Milwaukee battery will fit on this. We have extrication equipment on the truck that's outside, but it's run off from a gasoline power plant with hoses that go to the tools. This one is battery operated, so we're a little more flexible. We're also able to purchase. We can't use some of the other equipment. Again, battery powered. We were also able to purchase 4 of these lights. Again, battery powered. Adjustable. One of the other things that LED lights for using on different types of scenes. And then one of the other things that we were able to purchase originally were radios. We were required to switch a radio system from the VHF system to the 800 megahertz system about a year ago. The board approved buying a radio, so that allowed us to basically have everyone on our department that has a radio communicate on scenes and whatnot. So, and then circling back, I know Joan touched on it a little bit, but we did officially start a cadet program earlier this spring. We had 2 cadets. One of them has left for the time being just because of previous or other commitments. But my daughter Lily is part of that cadet program. What that is basically anybody in school 16 to 18 is allowed to join that, get some experience, get get comfortable with fire service to see if it's something that maybe they want to explore. Of course, there's like I said, age eligibility, and they also have to maintain academic eligibility, just like other sports and things. They have to keep their grades up and things like that. So she is our only cadet at the time, but we are going to try to, at the school year's back in session, we're going to try to get some more cadets that way too. So that's kind of my quick little thing. Does anybody have any fire department related questions while I'm here?
First responders right now.
How
many people do we have on your
we have total roster
first responders right now?
13 licensed first responders. We have a total roster on the fire department of 13, and we have, I believe, 10 licensed on the fire.
So you're looking for
Thanks
candidates
for
for
bringing
both.
in all the equipment so we can see what we actually
Thank you, that was very good.
Thanks for bringing in all the equipment so we can see what we have placed my heart. Actually, purchased, and Lily, as always, I'm very proud of you. Next reports, MTA, our next meeting for elected officials is. Okay, thank you. Next reports, MTA, our next meeting for elected officials is,
This is Oceana.
yes, is next Wednesday, the 28th at 6 o'clock p.m. at, welcome to come there, Claybanks Township Hall. Planning Commission. So any elected officials are more than welcome to come there for that. Planning Commission.
Yeah, spelling out, Planning Commission met on the 8th. You'll be sending out a request for proposals to about half a dozen consulting firms, both to look to number one, work on our master plan, And in doing so, we will probably actually have methods of what they call charades, we want to call it town hall or whatever. But we'll have two methods of getting resident input into the master plan. So one will probably be online, and the other one would be in person, probably with some sort of refreshments to attract people, because that seems. And then the other way will be some sort of online. And then free food always gets fun. Along with that. And then the other way will be some sort of online form to be filled out. Along with that, we will also be looking at the zoning ordinance and rewrite of that. One of the reasons we want to do the master plan is that it hasn't been updated since 2008, and there's just, the township has changed an awful lot in the last 14 years. So a lot of stuff that's in there is out of date, and there's probably different priorities and things like that. And obviously zoning should follow your master plans, and that's kind of the idea. So that's the big thing that the planning commission is working on.
Okay, thank you. Dennis Cemetery?
I had three cremation burials for the month.
Len, anything with parks?
I got 2 headstone base orders.
Okay. Len, anything with
Did they pick up
parks?
that porta potty out there?
I'll get back with you when I
Did they
get
pick up the
back.
porta potty?
Oh.
Did they pick up that porta potty out there?
Got what?
Did they pick up the porta potty?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the one, someone took that boat out of there too.
Somebody called Dennis did.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
I otherwise I'd call on the porta potty. They're supposed
Oh,
to take
Dennis
it out.
removed it.
Somebody called Dennis did. But, I otherwise I'd call on the porta potty that they're supposed to take it out Labor Day, but I didn't know
Yeah,
whether
they
they
took
did.
it out 2 days
The
later.
roads that.
Okay, thank you.
We got quotes, the roads, all those, they did the roads that, we got quotes on, they finished up all those, they did the lines on Loop Road, so right now we're all done until we figure out what we're gonna do with 176th, and then, Baker Road from Pierce to 204th, we gotta decide what we wanna do with that, and to see if we can use cannabis money for that or not. Zoning.
Okay, we're up to 23 zoning boards. As of the end of last month, and we were up to 23 zoning permits for the year, and
A lot of people moving.
I've already had 4 more this month, so 27 for the year. 2 new homes coming in.
A lot of people moving in.
Yeah, we have another 2 new homes coming in. Interesting, I just got a call from someone, there's a Spring Lake official, elected official, who is going to be purchase property just to the north of RQMI OG1, Darlington, and is planning to build a home there. Another new home on Darlington. We have a big addition going on, a home up on Spring Hill, property owner. It's going great guns that way. I met with the property owner at 198 in Parkton, where we had a number of complaints about someone living in I barely call it a trailer, and a lot of junk there. And we have a plan of action. They have 2 weeks to start it. I'll meet with them actually a week from Friday, and if progress is made, that's wonderful. If progress isn't being made, then we'll go to the next step.
Is any progress being made on the one that was a complaint on?
Yeah. No, they have not contacted.
By the church?
Yeah, that's not true.
I told him to get a hold of
Yeah,
him, so.
no, they have not contacted me.
Okay, I know the church talked about.
Actually, that's not true. We did talk,
Okay.
but they wanted to do a couple of things.
I know the church talked about putting up a fence.
They asked me about that, and I let them
And I
know.
told them to get a hold of
We
you.
have no zoning on fences, guys.
Right,
Do
right,
whatever
well,
you
he
want.
wanted to make sure because of the other issues that they were doing,
Yeah.
what they were supposed to do.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Okay, public comments? State your name,
I
please.
would like
Can you
to,
state your name?
James Smith, I live in the downtown this area. I want to thank the board for reconsidering your, my problem and your problem.
Thank you.
But we really need it as a legion, so I just want to thank you for reconsidering.
Francine
Thank
Grayson. I have a couple of questions.
Any other public comment? State your name, please.
Francine Grayson. I have a couple of questions. I know Steve went and talked to John before this whole thing came up. And my question would be to you, Steve, why does this
Right now, it's just public comment.
and talk to them in Georgia about all this before you send a letter?
Right now, it's just public
This
comments.
is public comments.
Okay, then let me go to the other thing. You state 5 grows. I don't think 176 has any outdoor plants. Whether they have indoor or not, I don't know, but if they're not growing, how can you, why are you saying?
Is there any other
5 grows?
public comments?
That's how many
There's
grows we
nothing there.
have.
This is public comment.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so.
Okay, is there any other public comments? State your name, please.
Jim Rayburn. Yeah, so first I'd like to just comment on the parking lot, thing, $63,000 parking lot. As I said in my letter, please, use our money wisely because we work for it. And you guys are elected to represent the people, so just think about, obviously, we're not gonna vote on every little thing, but if it went to a vote, I think that the residents would appreciate a $63,000 parking lot up here. When we've all got driveways for the most part. Just a thought on that. And then it's the veterans from the Legion, which I appreciate these guys, and your concern, I mean, it's like, they fought for our freedom, and I'm sure to them it seems like that's what's being taken away a little at a time. Not just in this instance, but it seems like just all over at every level, it's eroding. It is enforceable. And also, guys from the Legion, when people say our township attorney said this and that, and it is enforceable. In the last couple of months, 2 separate judges in the county have said statements from the township's attorneys were erroneous. So don't let them scare you on that. And one other thing, I am a write-in candidate as county commissioner in District 4. My name won't be on the ballot. Right,
Any
James
other
right
public
around there,
comments?
fill in the circle. That's a vote for me. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Yeah, I'm saying, Joey, I think we have an obligation to the public to keep that parking lot safe. We're all gonna walk out of here in the dark in a few minutes. And I don't know if you're gonna draw rain down a little hole that's gonna be
Any other
very
public
mischievous.
comments?
You owe it to the public to keep your property up.
State your name, please.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other public comments?
I'd like to, Joe, say thank you.
State your name, please.
Yeah, Steve Caliber, 186 in Johnson. I'd like to say thank you to our county sheriffs. A couple of weeks ago, there was a trailer on Sunday in the middle of the afternoon, 6 o'clock day, was stolen from a property up on me. The sheriff was alerted.
I think it's the final bill.
Okay, is
for the
there any
primary
board
August
discussion?
election. I have one thing, I did get my, I think it's the final bill for the primary August election.
So the total election, it looks like.
From the last bill that I had coming in was from the Oceana County Clerk. So the total election, it looks like, unless I've overlooked something, was $3,084.76. That's the wages and transportation, training and transportation, the clerk, all the work that they do for setting up and ordering everything. And then Election Source comes in and proofs our machines and sets everything up for the election. They come in here and do that for us. And that election total was $3,084.76.
Thank you. Any other board discussion?
I have one thing. The man is directed you to don't get offended, but I've had 2 or 3 people recently that have come out to pay their taxes on Monday, which has been, the treasurer and the clerk have been here on Monday forever.
Yes.
And
No, thank you
I don't
for
know,
that,
for personal
and
reasons you
I
can't be
do
here on Monday,
understand that
maybe
it
you
was
can
a
think about
conflict of
trying to get back to the Monday.
Unfortunately, I've got a 2-year-old. No, thank you for that, and I do understand that it was a conflict of babysitters. Unfortunately, I've got a 2-year-old son at home, so the only day I could find a babysitter was Tuesday morning. So I apologize for the inconvenience. If I can potentially switch it back to Monday, I will. If you guys, when you get your tax bills, my hours will always be on that tax. Exactly. Otherwise, you can always give me a call and I will
Only
let
thing
you
you
know.
read on a tax bill, how much you owe.
Exactly. And I know that myself. I didn't even go back through and read it after I got my own, so I didn't even open mine for.
Also on I just thought of it, on the grant that we received, she also received educational training money, Lola did, and so we are looking at going to the different townships because she can spend money on educating people on the recycle center. And she also, there's a program in coordinating with the school systems that she'll be working with. So we will be going to, we received support, a letter of support from the village. We included them, Denver Township and Greenwood Township and us. So we will be going to them, explaining it once we get everything. But she has like $80-some thousand to spend on education. So that's an important factor too. Once we get through all the initial things, then we'll be looking at volunteers for days when they're out here, figure out the times, starting out small. But that was something else, that she will combine the education grant with our grant.
Motion by David, second by Robertson, adjourn, all in favor?